Heroes and Legends, the Second Great War, Prologue 2. The battle begins. Simonet, along with his sister Shanae and his adopted brother Benby, met up with Jay and Caron Bankudan, Hepburn, Furlando, and MacDonald to discuss ways how to combat the Daminac threat. Simonet was at the head of the table, saying that he was the only one who had successfully lived after encountering such beasts. How would they survive, they wondered. How? Most of the planet never fought before in the war. It's mostly a peace-loving planet, where everyone got along well. There was no need for violence. Still, Simonet had hope. With his young sister Shanae, always eager for a fight, she could train and mentor Benby. And Hepburn and Jay and MacDonald and the giant Fernando were able fighters along with Simonet. Caron Banku Donna. His only concern was funding and fundraising. He was concerned that if a large-scale war to defend the planet would happen, then at the end, even if they did survive, the economy would be ruined and everything would be lost. There's no way in coping. And so he suggested that they look forward to allying with other people to help them out. Fernando and MacDonald looked at him and said, maybe that might be right. What should we do? And then Jay stood up and slammed his head to the desk. Slammed his hands to the desk and said, no, this is not what we want to do. We must exercise this threat ourselves. We cannot allow our problem to be someone else's problem. And as soon as sit there, he stood up and announced, as we sit here and do nothing, our enemy is approaching. We must first warn the people. Those willing to fight will join us with whatever they have. Knives, sticks, stones, their bare hands. We must survive or die trying. Those that are not able to fight will go on the ground and ride out this storm. Caron, I agree with you that we need to do something with our finances. Yes, it's important. The people need something to live upon and to survive. I'll allow you and Benby to go and lead the charge. Sorry. And Benby was stunned. But brother, he said, although he was small and quite timid sometimes, he said, big brother, I want to fight. Then Simonet said, you will lead fight. You will defend those that cannot defend themselves. You will prevent families from breaking apart, from sons and daughters losing their parents, like you have. That is your fight. Then Benby felt a great sense of determination, a sense of purpose and duty. He gladly accepted. And Shanae to herself, this guy is so easily impressed. Big brother's not all that. And the meeting carried on as the plans went to fruition. The sick, the elderly, the young, and women who were not able to fight went underground, where few loyal troops and men protected him. Leaders were Caron, Bankudan, and Benby. As for Simonet, his younger sister, Shanae, Hepburn, and McDonald and Fernando. They fought. They stood in the front lines ready to fight. Men, women, and children, all those that were willing to fight, or eager to fight. This was a plan-wide invasion, and the whole world must stand together against this alien invasion that was to come. Daminacs had no ship. They flew throughout space, withstanding the elements, and even withstanding the atmospheric fire that comes when something crash lands onto a planet. As they began to land, the Civic First Beings began to fire the cannons which they have made and built. As they got advice from the City Group, the other local power that will later become a banker, which would be a key pivotal ally for them in the future. So they fired the cannons at them, and Semnet led the charge and began the fight. The fight was epic, as Semnet used his bare hands to beat back the aliens. Everyone was using sticks and stones. Shanae used her small size to easily snuck under the aliens, cutting them from the bottom in the vital areas. One such warrior who was fighting was a woman named Kiara. She was a strong and beautiful woman. I was fighting in the front lines with long black hair and beautiful blue eyes and a very hourglass-shaped figure. She slayed the aliens as they came. She caught Simnet's eye as Simnet was fighting, and he noticed this beautiful woman fighting right across the field from him. He was stunned and almost lost focus, and then he woke up to himself and started beating back some aliens as well. Kiara noticed that Simnet, the great hero and the leader of their forces, was eyeing her, so she did extra to work to defeat the aliens that were surrounding them. And then, when the time, a brief moment of pause, as the aliens around them were slain, and other parts, people were fighting, the two went up to each other and introduced themselves. And Kiara was made the first move and said, "So you're the Semonite that everyone's talking about, our great grand commander. I'm Kiara, of the northern region." And Semonite said, "Oh, the pleasure is all mine. I never thought someone as beautiful as you would be on the front lines. I thought you'd be hiding away underground with everyone else." And Kiara said, "No way. Not when my people are struggling. I want to fight to the end." And so the two continued to talk, but the talk was brief. The second wave of aliens were coming. They began to fight. Fernando was squishing the aliens with his giants and punching them out. McDonald and Jay were fighting fiercely against the alien invaders. As for Kiara, Bankudana, and Benaby, they guarded one of the bunkers that housed the sick. Benaby was determined to not allow what happened to him and his family happen to anyone else. And so he was determined to defend it. Then suddenly there was a bang at the door, and a horde of aliens arrived. Benaby with his sticks and stones braced for impact and beat back the aliens. And Karan Bankuna also fought. And he was giant of a man. I started punching them out and using blasters, guns that he had got from the city group, and started attacking. Other volunteers also began to fight. Even the sick and elderly used what they had to beat back the alien horde. Soon, every living creature within Civic Being was fighting. The very survival of their world was at stake. After hours of fighting and hours of depression, the war was over. The waves of aliens that were coming, the Daminac hordes were no more. Semonite, Kiara, Jay, MacDonald, Hepburn, Philando, Caron Bancuda, and Beneby, and the hosts of many others on the planet all survived. Only a few dozen out of the whole planet had perished. The first being had somehow managed to overcome the enemy and became stronger. As a result, something happened, slowly but surely. They were changing. Sooner or later, they began to have strange abilities, especially those that were in leadership. Strange things were happening as each person in the entire planet, grown stronger, healthier, and seemed to be more invincible. They looked at Simnet for answers. How could this be? What is happening to us? And then Simnet was at a loss for words. He did not know. All he could have said was their determination and sense for freedom and survival has made them stronger, and that they will continue to resist the Daminacs until the very end. And so that's what they did, unknowing to them, for this was much more than just mere determination.